Hey there! Welcome to the Laravel Quick Start video. We're going to show you how to connect your Laravel project to Prepr CMS and make a simple blog app. But before we dive in, you need PHP, Composer, a free Prepr account, and make sure you load demo content when you create your environment in Prepr. You can get all the links and the complete repo used in this video in our docs. And, just a heads up, this video only covers the integration to Prepr, so we won't be including any styling. But don't worry, you can check out our complete starter guide for Laravel if you need those details. In this video, we follow the Laravel Quick Start guide in our docs. So let's start. We need to create a Laravel project. Open up your terminal and execute this command. In our case, we are calling our project Prepr Laravel. When it finishes, this command creates a Laravel version 10 project. Go to your project root directory. Then start the localhost with this PHP command. Head over to the localhost to check out your new Laravel project. And there you go. Your app is now up and running. Let's do a quick test. Go ahead and open up your Laravel project in your favorite code editor and update the welcome page with your own heading. Now, let's go back to the localhost. When you refresh the page, you'll see your blog app. Great. Okay, let's move on to the next step and install the Laravel GraphQL SDK. Why do we need it? Well, we want to connect to Prepr CMS using the GraphQL API, and this package helps us with that. Check out our docs to get a link and more details about the Laravel GraphQL SDK repo on GitHub. Now go back to your code editor and install the package with this command. No issues. Great. Next, let's add the endpoint configuration. To do that, update the services file. We need to get an endpoint URL for this variable. Let's get that from Prepr. We need to connect to a specific Prepr environment. Log into your Prepr account and find the access token from the Prepr environment that you want to connect to. Then, copy the API URL. Check out our docs on which access token to choose. Let's follow good practice and store the API URL of the access token in an environment variable. Paste it into the variable we referenced earlier in our config. All right, we're connected to Prepr. So our blog site is connected to Prepr, but we want to fetch some articles to show on our site. To do that, let's create a query in the project. Create a new folder to store all our queries and put the query in there. For the blog site, we want to get articles from the Prepr CMS. Let's retrieve an ID, a slug, and a title for each of the articles. Now that our query is done, let's fetch the articles from Prepr and show them in our blog site. To fetch the data, we need a controller to manage the request. Execute this command to create our blog controller. Open the new controller and add a new function for the main page. First, we need to make it possible to make an HTTP request to execute the query. Then, in the new function, execute the query that we just created. Finally, we want to view the results of the query. Now when you go back to your local host, you can see the same welcome page that you updated earlier. That's because we don't have a route to our new controller yet. Let's create one now. Go to the Routes folder and add the blog controller to the web routes. That's it. Let's see what happens on the localhost. Now when you go back to your localhost, you can see an error. This is because we don't have a view for our page. Let's create one now. Create a new folder for your pages. Move the welcome view to this folder. Then rename it to the same name that is used in the route and the controller. Once that's done, add the layout for the page. Here, we display the title for each article. Now when you go back to your localhost and refresh the page, you can see the list of articles. Wonderful. We're almost there. All that's left is to add links and fetch the article details so that we can view a new page for a specific article. Let's do that now. First, add links to the article titles on the page. In the link, we use the article slug to identify the new page. When you refresh the page, you can see the links, but we haven't added the article detail page. So when we click on the link, we get a page 404. But take a look at the URL. The slug of the article we clicked is there. Let's fix the page 404 error. First, create another query for the article detail. This query gets an article by its slug and returns some text and image content. Next, let's fetch the data we need to show on our new page. So, remember how we got the list of articles? Well, now we add similar code to the blog controller. Add a new function to make a request to the new query and make sure to set a value for the slug argument when requesting an article. Once again, add a route to the web file, but this time for the article detail page. This is where we get the slug from the URL and pass it to the show function. Finally, add a new view for the article detail page. Here, we display the article title and the article content, including text and one or more images. Now when you go back to the localhost and click on an article, you can see a detailed article page. Congratulations! You created a blog app connected to Prepr in under 10 minutes. For more info on what to do next, check out our docs.